And we're just in time for that song to be over, which means we are here for our losers bracket match. Round 2 losers bracket match, actually. We're quite a ways behind on the losers bracket. We had to take a little bit of a hiatus over Christmas. We have Alesha Kills versus Psyduck right now. Whoever loses this will be eliminated. It's a best 2 out of 3 match. So we're going to jump in, and I'm going to watch from Alesha's side right off the start. This is a heroes tournament, so they have to pick a hero. All the rest of their cards have to be in line with that hero, like the same colors. And they can have 4 copies of the hero. Everything else can only be 1 copy, is the way that we've set this up. And just let Alesha know they can go. Good luck. Same with Psyduck. Oh, apparently we've inquired. Make sure we wish them both good luck. So we have here Milos versus Cameron, I believe was the 2 decks. Yeah, definitely. Whirling Duo, ooh, into Navani. Navani actually pretty powerful in a format where there's going to be a little bit less removal. Things are just going to be a little bit slower because you have to play... Like, you can't have the consistency of playing the best removal all the time. You're going to have to dig a little bit deeper, right, to get 4 copies of removal. That's going to be pretty sweet. So this is... Navani can be very real. It's unfortunate they're not going to be able to play it while also playing the Whirling Duo, right? Because now they're kind of stuck waiting a turn. Navani's not going to be able to come down, although it does mean that Crown Watch Standard might flip. Like, having the standards is nice on that side of things, where if they can draw another power card, they'll be able to transmute it and maybe get Navani in where it wouldn't normally survive. Weeping Choir getting to go to the market. Let's see what they have. A lot of tokens so far from Weeping Choir. No Cameron to go with it yet, though. I mean, we might see Alesha Kills just throw away a unit here and try and get Sheriff Marley down for silence. I could definitely see that being a thing. It might be the right play. Not blocking with the 2-3. So just, like, hoping to get the ramp to, like, Milos or something? I wonder why going for that. Ooh, that's good. Good draw from Alesha, though, on the Signal Flare. That's a spell speed, though. They're just gonna throw this away. Go for the Sheriff Marley, I guess? No blocks from Weeping Choir. Oh, baby. And a pump spell to save? Yeah, Spiteful Strike. Want to keep that alive and try and pressure back. It's gonna be tough, though. Alesha has a lot of life right now. Yeah, they're just gonna have to play that. Like, 31 to 15. Twisting and attacking with everything doesn't do that much damage. If you're looking at doing 10, that's still a fair ways behind. And when you see that Ruination Sledge coming in for Alesha, that's going to be pretty nasty. Yeah, good maneuver here by Alesha to not block the Grenadin Drone, because Weeping Choir can have ways to get it back. Things like the Shadowlands Guide or just Dark Return or anything like that. And because of the summon ability, getting to use the summon twice is really bad. It's much better to just block a regular one. There's no other difference. Yeah, good block here. Kind of surprised we didn't see the Ruination Sledge. I'm guessing that we're just going to get a twist then. Sure. A Scrap Hound. And it's a pretty close game. The problem is Alesha has essentially gotten a Xenon Obelisk out that can't be interacted with, where everything in their deck is going to be too bigger. And it also is going to affect all their weapons, so this is a tough battle for Weeping Choir to come back from. They've got to have a good hand. We know, though, that Alesha's hand is, like,
now is our time to strike.
Fine, but not amazing. Ooh, Golem Press is nasty. That really hampers the wide board that Weeping Choir has here. That's going to be tough. Because now you're looking at it from Weeping Choir's side, where you have to just trade away all of your tokens turn after turn after turn to just make them spend 2 mana, which is nothing. That's going to be a tough one. Ooh, we see an all-out attack. To my mind, that's That's got to mean that we have a Cameron coming in. And they're probably going to sacrifice one of the Grenadins to try and draw some cards and make a big Cameron. Nope. Going for a Memory Dredger. And a Mercy of Kodosh. Alesha has a lot of choices here. They can just play General Azaleo. Alesha, I'm sure, is really wishing. Yeah, they could find a way to get tribute for Sheriff Marley, but nothing you can do about that. Smart move earlier, remember how we talked about not blocking that Grenadin drone? It would have been a problem here where it just keep buying back for Weeping Choir. As it is now, we kind of have two very grindy sources of value. Golem Press versus Memory Dredger here. 3-2 quick draw, not getting blocked by Marley. Alesha just being careful, thinking that something is up on Weeping Choir's side. Or maybe just not wanting them to buy it back. I mean, it is just going to come back even if it does die. Vanquish not doing it.
Fire!
So we'll see General Azaleo come down. That does make this Seraph very scary, right? Like, that's going to pump up the actual attack value for it and mean that a larger twist will come down. I'm sure Alesha would actually really like to see a power card here so they can both twist and use the Golem Press. But we'll see. Weeping Choir going to the market again. And I've got to amend just the Dredger this time. Pull back another Grenadin. Alesha deciding not to play a market, by the way, as we've noticed. Ooh. That's a pretty decent one. I think that you have to go for the twist. Oh, maybe not. Just going for Steadfast Deputy.
Peace is its own reward.
I think I would have liked to see a twist there. To try and see if you could get something that could block the flyer. Maybe Alesha just forgot about it? It might be. I don't know about that one. Just getting the 3-1. Ooh, there's Scrap Tank. But anyways, Alesha opted not to do a market, as you'll notice. With markets being a little bit worse in a singleton format, right? You have to play a bunch of different merchants, and that means you have to have like a black market. So they're not really that powerful. There's not a lot of 4-attack flyers, but I mean, it seems like, I mean, anything at 4-attack feels like it's got to be better than just a 3-1, right? I mean, really a 1-1. Vanquish hits the Scrap Tank now, which is good. Alesha needs something, though. That Memory Dredger is really wrecking face. Ooh, and Alesha's just gonna throw down now. Try and put some pressure back. I like that. You've got to try and stop Weeping Choir from just dictating the pace of play. Alesha has a lot of blocks. If they can get damage through, they've got a ton of big units. They just need to get a way through. That is not going to be enough. Now we've got to see that twist. Just an Insistent Automaton, which actually returns something. So they have to do that. Not what you want to see here. You can turn Chemo, and then replay it. You're going to see Seraph go back to hand. Okay. Getting a couple of chump blocks here. Problem is that Grenadin drone is just going to keep coming back, right? So that block actually costs Weeping Choir essentially nothing. It's not GG yet unless Weeping Choir has something. There we go. Now it is GG. Because they had blockers on the ground. There's 4 blockers on the ground. They were able to block the whole ground troop. But yeah, as it turns out, flyers have been very, very key in this format. The 2 people that have been the furthest, both Hulb and Epic Legion, went really, really heavy on both Aegis and flyers, and they've just been king of this format so far. Anything that's got flying or Aegis or both has been incredibly strong. And we've just seen that again here. That's only the game 1, though. We can definitely see a run back. We're going to watch Weeping Choir this time. Alright, we see a redraw from Weeping Choir. Not having any justice there. I just wanted to wish good luck to both of our competitors again. Good way to let them know, too, that they're free to play.
We fight to survive.
A nice start with Ghostblade. We haven't seen either captain here yet. None of the generals. Or heroes, I suppose, we have in Eternal. This start is good if Weeping Choir can just draw another power. Because Zolta Convoy and Sheriff Marley are both really strong. I might be tempted to just slam Torrent Spiders here. If you get a power card, you're going to be getting a bunch of other things, and you don't want to fall too far behind. Yeah, and Weeping Choir agrees. I like that play a lot. I think that's a good idea. Like, getting the Warcry snowball going here for Alesha could be a real problem, and I don't think you want that to happen. Oh, and there we go. Weeping Choir exactly on time. You might want to try and attack here and get a tribute so that you can silence something. I'd be a fan of that. I like the idea of attacking with the Ghostblade. Like, that's a little bit wonky. It seems weird. But you might be able to trick a block here. You'd really, really like to silence the Milos. Weeping Choir just deciding to play the Zolta Convoy instead. When download a Spooter, I would. Get a 4-3. Ilyon Imperial Armorer. Cards that you don't see very often, which is part of the fun of this format. Imperial Armorer is really, really good with Milos, by the way. So now for sure, I think that you need an attack. No, alright. I was going to say, I wanted to see an attack there so that you could hopefully get a silence off this Sheriff Marley and silence that Milos or silence the Ilyon. Because it seems very useful to silence the Milos. Oh, no! Oh, baby. And if you've never seen this before, the Bear Arms assembly line combo, all of that triggering, making a bunch of 6/6s, and now it's too late for that Sheriff Marley, and the game might just be over already. Yeah, I think that they needed to just try and find a way to silence here. It might not have worked. Like, it's very possible that Alesha doesn't block, but then you're getting free damage at least. Like, you're not just sitting here doing nothing, which unfortunately Weeping Choir kind of had to do. Yeah, and I mean, now Marley comes down, but it's not silencing anything, and you're facing down a board of 6/6s. I feel like these Marleys needed to be a little more aggressively played, like just trading off smaller units to silence bigger ones. Feel like that would have been the way to do a lot of this. So we're gonna get a few blocks here. Double block of Marley and a revenge unit. And here's some big chunks of damage coming down.
My masterpiece is complete.
Like, every single unit gets +5/+5. That is just going to be really brutal here. I think that you've got to try and steal things. Like, that might be your out. I would probably go for a steal and an obsidian golem and see what you can get. Could last chance back the spider, but it's just not enough yet. Actually, it might be a good idea. Oh, Conflagrate would have been good a minute ago. You can get rid of the Ilyon. Nope, still just gonna let that live. I was thinking, you know what you might want to do is try and attack and then last chance get back that Sheriff Marley and do that silence. Ooh, boy. Yeah, last chancing back the Marley seems like a good play. We've got to kill something here, I think. You can't just chump block forever. Nope. Weeping Choir disagrees.
Let's try this out.
Really need a silence for that Milos. Very much so. Alright, well, it'd be neat to be able to use the Merchant enough to kill it. Yeah, and then get back the Marley and have the tribute that way, but I understand the want to not bother anymore. That was a rough one. You had to kill the Milos really, really fast. Milos is one of those cards where it's very unassuming until it just suddenly isn't. You've got to answer it at some point pretty quickly, or it can get way out of hand. And unfortunately, just didn't find a way to do it well. So now we're going to be watching Alesha. We've got it all tied up here in our Cameron versus Milos battle here in the losers. And we've got the rubber match. Once again, good luck to both of our competitors. Really, really good game so far. Milos Assembly Line Bear Arms is just the absolute perfect kind of draw for what Alesha wants to do. And they've got Milos and Bear Arms again. They're definitely going to be plunging away this... I mean, unless they draw a power card. Ooh. Oh, that's a tough choice. I mean, Alesha's going to take the risk here. They've got Seraph to block for a while and just kind of chump. Not chump, but like just be a wall. Rujin's choice is interesting. Good way to pull up your hero. But we get to see a Milos into a Bear Arms, probably.
Grab your weapons!
See what's happening here, though. It's very possible for Weeping Choir to have the removal this game. If there's removal in the next couple turns, that changes things a lot. We might also just see Alesha Kills play like Imperial Loyalist into Bear Arms on it. Try and get another unit. 1-1 from Milos is pretty powerful sometimes, too. Also, it's not to be understated that Bear Arms works real well on Seraph as well. Because that just means you can twist it forever, and it's getting larger and larger every time. Kennel Master being a 4-4 as a 1-cost 4-4 with an ability. This Milos needs to be killed fast, and Weeping Choir has just not been able to do that. Not finding Combusts, not finding Conflagrates or anything like that to deal with it. Like I said, the removal in this is a lot lighter than normal, so that's why I think that the Aegis has been so powerful, is busting through that is a lot harder than it normally is. Weeping Choir having to pass the entire turn. And Alesha, I mean, they have some power problems here. It's not entirely roses. Yeah, and there does need to be 2 spells before Kennel Master does anything. And Alesha doesn't even have spells right now. Like, unless you count the Ruination Sledge, that both needs a target and 2 more power. And you'd also need to play Rujin's Choice in the meantime. So there's a lot of things that need to happen for that to actually do something. Golem Press is nice. I mean, it's just a good blocker for a while. Yushkov as a 5-5 that gets... Oh my god, like an 8-8 Yushkov. That looks very, very good. Unfortunately, nothing happening yet. Rujin's Choice is tough right now because you just want to top deck a power card. You currently can't do that. So Alesha's just opting to sit back and not do anything. I feel like I would have probably liked to attack with the 4-4 there. There's not enough blocks for it to matter. Oh wow, Alesha going for the Rujin's Choice anyways, not caring about missing power. We'll see if that comes back to bite, because we've seen Weeping Choir kind of just chump block all the really, really big units that Alesha can put out and slam in with like a Memory Dredger and just get there. Alesha going for the, oh my god, the Bullet Shaper to try and discard cards and actually get that. The problem is that you do have to discard a spell specifically, which Alesha doesn't have right now, so... Currently, it's not really doing anything. Yeah, you gotta desecrate the Milos. As much as it sucks to be facing down the 6-7, at least you can probably block that for a while. Oh, a second Milos right away with the bonus already. That's a problem. A lot of damage coming in here. Probably want to chump block the 1-1. Yep. Going down to 14. Weeping Choir's advantage here is to hopefully just draw some power cards and get out from under this before Alesha does. But both players very screwed right now. Alesha just opting to use the Ruination Sledge, not bothering to go for the Steel Press. Just put a bunch of damage down. I think that's a good play. I might have actually wanted to attack the Milos there and just, like, not care if you lose it because you've got so much pressure here and you don't want to let Weeping Choir get it. Steal the 6-7. Do they have the sacrifice? I mean, they have it with Cameron, but Alesha can block. Like, they can just throw away the Seraph, and that's not a big loss for them. We'll see what happens. No jump block. Ooh, I think that's a big mistake. I think that you need to block the Seraph there. As much as it's nice to have Seraph plus Milos, I think that you need to chump block Seraph. Like, you're on the attack, chump block the Seraph, let it go, and let that not be a problem. Because, yeah, losing that 6-7 and giving a 5-5, suddenly, this game just turned around. Torch is a really good top deck because of the Kennel Master, though. That's going to be some very large hounds. It's 3 spells for Kennel Master. Weeping Choir needs to find removal.
Only the best for you.
That might do it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what was in the market for Psyduck or Weeping Choir here. They've got some chump blocks. It's gonna be a lot of hounds, though. Like, these are some big old puppers. And now Yushkov comes down too, and that's going to stop Weeping Choir from being able to play this steel press and just chump block forever. Ooh, this is tough. A rough game for Weeping Choir, just getting kind of stuck on power here. An attack all out. That's got to be a harsh rule then. Either a harsh rule or a concession. Either one could happen. If it's the harsh rule, Weeping Choir is still very much in this. Pristine Light, that'll work. That's the same thing. Doesn't get rid of the Seraph, but it gets rid of everything else that's really relevant. Destiny on Toctic is excellent because it draws you an extra card right away. And they get to use the press. Oh, this is awesome. Okay. Well.
Drink up! Life's too short!
Whoa, we have some big turns coming in from Alesha. Zoltafoil on either the Imperial or Seraph is going to be nasty.
We must save our homeland.
It doesn't give Aegis to the actual unit. It's going to be able to silence the Cameron. Huh. Yeah, Pristine Light was a really good hit there. Ooh, and a Finest Hour. Able to trade with this Loyalist. That does mean that Seraph will get his Ultifoil. And it will stop the Cameron from getting any larger. This is such a close game. I think that we've got a pretty huge advantage right now for Weeping Choir, though. Alesha needs some time, and I'm not sure that they're going to have it. The Seraph is big enough to block the Cameron, and I think you have to silence that. And then just hope that your unit roulette here is good enough is probably the answer. I mean, actually, oh god. I was going to say Inquisitor's Blade does it, but that removal, ooh. Didn't even need 2 turns, it was just literally next turn. Now Alesha needs 2 turns, or a pump spell.
Only the best for you.
What a game. Down to 1. Alesha able to put Weeping Choir on 1. It just comes down to what the top deck is. And Aijin will not do it. It looks like Weeping Choir will pull ahead. Oof. It was 3 turns when you were typing it. Yeah. Whoa. What a game. What a game. Yeah, 1 mana pump spell like a Finest Hour or a Signal Flare, Char, anything like that would have done it. Both people on 1 HP. What a finals. What a finale for that match. Very well played by both players. Tough match. Very close. That screw in the last game made actually for a very interesting game there. Because, like, you don't like to see somebody screwed, but when both players are screwed, it does lead to an interesting game. There was a lot of back and forth, and it made it very, very close. All the decisions they were making were very impactful, for sure. That was a very close game. Well done to both players. I'm sorry to see them leave, because that was a great match. But, unfortunately, we are in the losers bracket, so that does mean an elimination for Alesha, but very well played. And that means Psyduck will be continuing on, playing against Celtic Guardian when they have time. So we'll be doing that soon, as soon as they're able to both arrange a time for it. And we'll have Celtic Guardian versus Psyduck, and then into Beard Broken, then to Epic Legion, and finally, the finals, where somebody is going to challenge the supremacy of Hull.